we have to begin to get there. And the way we get there, the way we apply the law of pure potentiality, is through the experience of silence. And so I would like to summarize today the first law for you, which is that I am pure spirit. And the way I get in touch with that pure spirit is I take time each day to commune with nature and silently witness the intelligence within every little thing. I take time every day for silence and meditation. I take time to not judge, because as I cease from judgment, I create silence in my internal dialogue. And when I create silence in my internal dialogue, I get in touch with the field of pure potentiality. So at this point, in fact, I'd like to read to you a poem that I found from Tagore, which says a little bit about what happens to us when we experience nature, and through nature, we experience the pure spirit. He says, "On the day when the lotus bloomed, alas, my mind was straying, and I knew it not. My basket was empty, and the flower remained unheeded. Only now and again a sadness fell upon me, and I started up from my dream and felt a sweet trace of a strange fragrance in the south wind. That vague sweetness made my heart ache with longing, and it seemed to me that it was the eager breath of the summer seeking for its completion. I knew not then that it was so near that it was mine, and that this perfect sweetness had blossomed in my own heart." So that is what happens. That is what happens when we experience pure potentiality. I'd like us all then to understand that as we take steps towards success, the first thing we have to do is get in touch with the source of all creation, to realize that deep within us is this field which is the source of everything. At this level, we are at this level of the unmanifest. We are the observer, the process of observation, and the observed. We are the soul, the spirit, the mind, the body, and the world. That's why the seers say, "I'm not in the world is in me. I'm not in the body is in me. I'm not in the mind is in me. The body, mind, and world, they happen to me as I curve back within myself and create again and again. And as I do that, I can create anything I want." I'll summarize the law of pure potentiality then by once again reiterating the 3 ways we can get in touch with it. Number 1, through the practice of meditation and silence. Number 2, through communing with nature, because the same spirit animates everything. It's the same unified force that is there in everything that's alive. And 3, by practicing non-judgment. By desisting from trying to label and define everything as right or wrong, good or bad. Because in the ultimate scheme, as you can see, good and bad are what make life an experience of meaningful contrast. There is the poles of opposite that create life, whether it's good or bad, light or darkness, up and down, hot or cold, pain or pleasure. Life moves within these poles of opposites. And when we accept that, we spontaneously become less judgmental. We spontaneously do not have the desire to judge others. And when we don't have that desire to judge others, then that creates silence in our mind. There's a beautiful prayer that I came across somewhere. It says, "Today I shall judge nothing that occurs. And as I judge nothing that occurs, I will create silence in my mind. And as I create silence in my mind, I will communicate and commune and have that meeting with the cosmic mind that is running and orchestrating the machinery of the universe." The cosmic mind whispers to us in the silent spaces between our thoughts. And people have called this intuition or revelation or insight or inspiration or creativity. There are different words of saying the same thing, that we are getting in touch with the cosmic computer that is orchestrating the infinite diversity of the universe. Once we recognize that, once we have an experiential knowledge of that, then we feel that there is nothing in this universe that is not accessible to us. Whatever the mind of humans can conceive and imagine, it can create, because you are going to that source which creates everything. So this then is the first law, and as we go through this program, I'd like to take you through all the 7 laws, which are the principles of nature, which are the principles through which nature manifests into the infinite diversity of life. And as we do that, we will see how this helps us to realize all the goals that we have. Material, emotional, spiritual, all those goals. Thank you. The second law of success is called the law of giving. And it might easily be called the law of giving and receiving as well. And before I go into that, I'd like to read to you something that came through the poetic wisdom of the poet that I quoted previously, Rabindranath Tagore. He talks about giving and receiving. He says, "This frail vessel you empty again and again, and fill it ever with fresh life. This little flute of a reed you have carried over hills and dales, and have breathed through it melodies eternally new. Your infinite gifts come to me only on these very small hands of mine. Ages pass, and still you pour, and still there is room to fill." So I think that expresses very beautifully that this universe in which we exist, it operates through dynamic exchange. That giving and receiving are different aspects of the flow of energy in the universe. And in our willingness to give that which we seek, we keep the abundance of the universe flowing through our lives, circulating through our lives. Jesus Christ himself said, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." And we stop the flow of either giving or receiving. We interfere with nature's intelligence. Energy stops flowing from the unmanifest into the world of the manifest. So we have to keep doing that, because at the moment you stop, that causes strangulation. It causes coagulation. It causes decay. It causes death. Death of the energy. The human body is a device that captures energy from the universe, circulates it, and then gives it back to the universe. And even wealth is nothing other than a form of energy. Wealth, luxuries, all the things that you want in your life, these are forms of energy that express themselves through our body. It is very important when we give that we be considerate and be aware of the intention behind giving. Because if we give with a joyful attitude, a joyful frame of mind, then giving becomes in itself its own goal. Giving becomes in itself its own journey, its own goal, its own joy, its own exuberance. It brings spiritual and emotional fulfillment immediately, immediate gratification. And as soon as that happens, then material things also follow. So in order to apply the law of giving, you should say to yourself, wherever I go, whoever I encounter, I will bring them a gift. I will gratefully also receive all the gifts that life has to offer to me. I will make a commitment to keep wealth circulating in my life by giving and receiving the most precious things in life. And what are the most precious things in life? Psychologists tell us that the most precious human needs are caring, affection, attention, appreciation, and love. We're going to talk a lot about love later, but I think it's very important to recognize that attention and affection and appreciation are things that people seek and yearn for the most.